Oh my gosh! What's up guys, CC, and I'm sorry that this video is coming out late. It's because recently I was just finished my last musical I was in. I was in My Son Pinocchio Jr. And if you don't believe me, well then go follow my TikTok because I post some backstage / cast party fun on there. And also if you don't believe me, here's also the script. So yeah, I finished that show yesterday and basically I woke up, watched the 2 new episodes, then had to get ready to go for closing performance. So yeah. Honestly, this show's probably my favorite to be a part of because the cast was so nice. There's no backstage drama and everyone got along. It was like really a dream come true. So yeah. It is currently 7:31 on Monday. It's April Fool's, so I haven't done any pranks whatsoever. I feel unaccomplished! Anyway, I'm not sure if this video is going to be a 2-part video or it's just going to be one. I don't know, because for You're Kidding Me, which, oh my gosh, that's my favorite episode right now! I have a lot to say about that one. Also, by the way, I got this Alita Funko Pop. It's actually my first time I've ever gotten, really, if I think about it. So, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to try to collect more of those. So let's get on with the review. Sorry. I found like a silverfish thing. I found that in this room right now. And so I had to kill it with hairspray because that's the only thing I have upstairs in my house that could possibly kill something. And yeah, that scent is just driving me crazy. And also, apparently, I have scissors up here. And I forgot I had them up here, so okay. Anyway, so we're going to start with the episode Mir Mir. And honestly, this episode kind of surprised me, actually. I mean, like, the description says something like, oh, the gang looks into a mirror and weird things happen. So I was like, okay, does somebody start floating upside down? Like, what is this? Yeah, boy, was I wrong. So basically, it's raining and everyone's just kind of on each other's nerves. And this honestly reminds me of the commercial I saw. I don't remember exactly what it was for. I think it was like first like a pizza rolls or something like that. But basically this girl was going, Mom, he's blinking too loudly. Like she's talking about her brother and he's like, oh yeah, well, is this too loud for you? Kept blinking like really fast and honestly the beginning scene reminded me of that so much. Anyway, basically everything starts getting really intense and they find this like shell house, like this like giant house made of shells for some reason. I don't know anymore. The theology or mythology, I don't know which one is right, but it's weird in this show, but I like it honestly. So Rapunzel's like, come on guys, let's go inside, and everyone's like, okay fine, we'll go in, and they meet this guy named Matthews, who honestly to me he seems pretty chill about everything. And so he lets the gang like stay and like he gives them like a place to sleep and all this stuff. He gives them food and everything. And Cassandra's starting to be a bit suspicious about that. And honestly, I would be too, because like if you walked up to some random person's house and said, hey, can I sleep in their house? And they said, oh yeah, sure, here's some food too. I would be kind of like, why don't you want anything from me? But anyway, by the way, the house is called Yesterday's Tomorrow, so technically it's today. So if it means it's the house of today, does that mean it's the house of the present? Because it does not look like the house of the present. Anyway, basically we see how like Shorty like goes up to this hallway mirror and he's kind of like looking at his reflection, thinking it's some other person because that's what Shorty would do, honestly. And suddenly he gets pulled into the mirror and gets traded out for this doppelganger, like this evil doppelganger of him. And honestly, the doppelganger does a bad job of representing Shorty. So much so that when everyone's at dinner, basically he's having all these, like, he's having good manners and all this stuff. And he's actually saying, like, full-on words that make sense and not something random and, like, thoughtless, if that makes sense. And later, when Rapunzel and Eugene are talking, they both agree that Shorty's acting different. And so they hide in the armoire in the hallway and they look at Shorty. I like kind of stalk him in a way from it for some weird reason. It sounds very creepy. It wasn't that creepy in the episode, trust me. And Lance comes up to Shorty. He's like, oh, hello. And like Shorty's like, oh, hey, Lance, how about you look into the mirror? Like, he's saying a full-on sentence, and like, yeah, this doppelganger's terrible. But Lance looks into the mirror, and he suddenly gets switched out really quick, and Rapunzel's like, what? What's going on? And honestly, Rapunzel's right. What is right? It's like, why does this exist? So when they go to tell Cass about everything, Cass is still kind of confused, and they're all like, you know what? We need to test each other and be positive that we are the real us. So Rapunzel proves her being herself by making like a diorama of Corona out of the food in the kitchen or at the dining room table. Goodness! Eugene answers. My gosh, I can't speak today. Eugene answers a bunch of trick questions, and when it gets down to Cass, Rep says, "Okay, cut this apple up by throwing it in the air and cut into 8 perfect slices like she's been doing at the beginning of the episode." And Cass is like, "What? Now? What? I don't have to do that, what? And honestly, when she was saying stuff like that, I was wondering, okay, is this fake Cass not being able to do it, or is this real Cass being worried that she's not going to be able to prove herself?" I was like 50-50 on this one. Turns out it was evil Cass, and so Rapunzel and Eugene escape back to the armoire. And when Eugene calls Pascal a chameleon and not a frog, or by saying Pascal, Rapunzel realizes that that's not the real Eugene. This is the fake Eugene. Honestly, this one kind of scared me at first. I mean, the fact that I didn't realize that that was fake Eugene the entire time. And the Mir Eugene was like, oh yeah, he's the first one to go. Like, the entire time I was just sitting there questioning, like, all my life decisions. And so now we start cutting, like, back and front, not to and fro, or, you know what I mean, like, going back and forth between the mirror world and the normal world. And in the mirror world, everyone's fighting, and Cassandra even calls Eugene Fitz-Herb jerk, which honestly I find hilarious. But here's what I noticed. The mirror Eugene said that Eugene was the first one to go. So if Eugene was the first one to go, I'm assuming that Shorty was second, because that's the first one we saw. So if Eugene was first, and Shorty was second, and Lance was straight to Shorty, that means Cass was the fourth. The thing is, we don't see Cass looking into the mirror at all. We see, like, a flashback to Eugene getting pulled in. We see Shorty, and we see Lance because Eugene and Rapunzel were looking from the armoire. But we don't see why Cass was. They explained Eugene was doing it as, like, because he's Eugene. And he's like, oh yeah, my hair needs to be all perfect. And Shorty thought it was some other person he was talking to. And the mirror Shorty convinced Lance to look into it, going, hey, you look very dashing today. And that's why he looked in. But then why would Cass look into the mirror is my question. I don't know, honestly. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Anyway, basically, the evil Eugene reveals to Rapunzel that he was trying to get, well, all of the mirror monsters, what they call them, they were trying to get her into the mirror as well. So basically the sun drop, and you'll find out what I mean by that later. Or if you saw the episode, you probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, basically, the evil Rapunzel starts coming out trying to grab her. And the weird thing is, this evil Rapunzel has, like, these long nails, like a demon friggin' thing. It's kind of creepy. Makes you wonder why this episode aired at freaking 7 a.m. in the morning when 6-year-olds could possibly be up. And basically, Rapunzel's actually able to fight off the evil doppelganger version of her. And basically, they're, like, wrestling, and their eyes are exact same. Like, they look the exact same, so you don't know which one's which. And basically, one stays in the real world, one stays in the mirror world. And once the Rapunzels were done battling, like, the Rapunzel in the real world kind of looked at the evil Eugene like, oh yeah, we did this. So when this happened, I was confused. I'm like, okay, so if the evil one's in the real world now, then how are they going to end this episode? Basically, it's actually the real Rapunzel is pretending to be the evil version of her. And meanwhile, back in the mirror world, the evil one is being a freaking huge demon thing and, like, reveals it to the rest of the gang that she's not the actual Rapunzel. And she does this, like, weird, like, neck thing, like, kind of, like, twitches it really fast or whatever, like, you see in, like, those paranormal activity shows. I mean, like, Ghost Adventures, and, like, when it's showing, like, the in-between takes, it'll show, like, a demon or, like, some figure moving or whatever. That's what I mean. So, honestly, the real Rapunzel half fooled me. I wasn't sure. So, yeah. It's funny, this episode got me thinking, like, what is it with Rapunzel and, like, demons, for crying out loud? So basically, back in the mirror world, everyone's like, alright, we need to trap this freaking demon Raps, and so they're like, okay, we need to work to the best of our ability, and, like, use our strengths to defeat it. And so Eugene does this smolder, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I died laughing when he did this. And while both sides, or both worlds are fighting, there ends up coming up to a point where, like, Cass is, like, running back, or, like, away from the demon Raps, and Lance gets thrown, and so they smash into a wall together. And I was just, like, freaking out at this, honestly. Basically, Rapunzel, the real Rapunzel, decides, you know what, I figured out a way to trap the mirror monsters, and she takes the mirror off the wall and puts it under the rug So that way, once the mirror monster things are standing on top of the rug, she'll pull it back and they'll fall through, as long as the real gang pulls them through into the mirror world again. So in the end, basically, everyone is saved, the real gang is back in the real world, and the mirror gang is in the mirror world. And as the gang is getting ready to go to sleep, it's funny, I noticed that Matthews gave them 2 rooms. They gave one for the boys, one for the girls, yet they all decided to sleep in, like, the first room. Like, the room you walk into. I don't know anymore. It's weird. I noticed that the guys were all sleeping together, but the girls were sleeping separate, and the part of me thinks the reason why is because I'm guessing the writers thought the Cassandra's shippers are gonna go crazy if that happens. Honestly, I don't ship them, but yeah. I ship Classy! And of course New Dream, but yeah. The nice thing was that once they got, like, everyone back into their normal worlds, they all did a group hug, and I just thought that was so sweet, because we haven't seen that either in a long time or in a while. Or, like, ever. But yeah, that was the episode. It's funny, at one point in this episode, Rapunzel mentioned that the shell house thing is not the weirdest thing that they've seen on the road. And then that got me thinking, like, what is exactly the weirdest thing they saw on the road? I mean... Or, like, the weirdest thing that happened on the road. I think the Zonteri tree would probably be one of the weirdest, like, probably be in the top 3. I think, like, the least weirdest would probably be the water goblins. I almost call them pockets, because that's what... It was funny, one time I was, like, trying to find out what they were called, because I couldn't tell what they were saying. I had no idea what they were saying. And so I put on the captions on YouTube and said that they were pockets, and so that's been a joke ever since then. That was in the island episodes, and that... Wow, just realizing the island episodes were so long ago, for goodness sakes. Those episodes feel like they came out so long ago, oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm going to post my You're Kidding Me review as a second part because, yeah, if you look at the time of this video, it's too long. I want people to say everything I want to say about that episode, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the CC Squad. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments down below. I will also have my TikTok, my Tangled series Amino, and my Alita Battle Angel Amino in the description. What were your guys' thoughts on this episode? Also, I might be posting more backstage fun and shenanigans, stuff like that on my TikTok. Like I said in the beginning, go follow me there. And before I close out this video, this shirt honestly reminds me of like a modern day cast in a way, just like the sleeves. I don't know why, but yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Bye!